All right, we're doing it. We're here. We've made it. We've made it. Look at us. I almost didn't make it today. I'm so tired. But here we are, and we're ready to go. Right. Let me get myself together while I wait. Oh, Lord, to be able to read what I wrote here. All right. I think I'm ready. All right. Now we wait. Now we just wait for you beautiful souls to arrive and we can get going. I think I'm ready. Take my boots off. Yeah, I've been up early today. I got up so early today. That's why I'm so tired. I'll probably take a nap after this. And I'm not kidding. Okay. Okay, people, where are you guys? Where are y'all? And I know this is a horrible time. I'm really thinking about switching this time. I should have been doing this at like 6 p.m. I feel like it's a good time when everybody's off of work. You know, I understand everybody's at work and doing the things. And well, this 12 o'clock space here is a hard one for people to be able to show up. Grand Rising, how are you? How are you? Welcome. Come in, come in, come in. Let me know how you're doing, who you are, where you're from. And I'll give a few more seconds. But I think I'm going to go ahead and get started here. It's been almost 5 minutes. So, welcome, 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 Grand Rising. I hope you are having an amazing day. You know me. I wake up intentional. And so that allows me to be able to have some type of control or outlook over my days, right? That's why you always see me looking like this. Now, I'm going to say I'm a little tired today. Like I said, I woke up early this morning, but for the most part, I am amazing. And I absolutely hope that you are having an amazing day as well. Today is episode 4 of our Returning to Her series. Today's topic is going to be releasing survival without losing yourself, okay? I know that for me. I've had to return to her. I understand this journey very well. And so this is something that is really near and dear to my heart. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them down below. I will answer them. If I don't get back to answer them on this live, I will come back and respond, okay? Now, one of the hardest things to learn after surviving is how to stop bracing, okay? And that's because survival becomes your identity. It becomes who we are. And the thought of letting it go can feel like you're losing yourself. I'm going to tell you now, survival was never meant to be who you are forever. It was meant to get you to this space here where you currently are. Survival mode helps us get through tough times, but the downside of survival mode is you're always bracing, right? Waiting for impact, waiting for something else to happen, waiting for something else to go wrong. And because this is what you are expecting, this is what you are going to experience. One relationship after another, one situation after another. Granted, in those times when you are going through these experiences that push you into survival mode, you need to be strong at that moment, right? In those times, you need to be resilient. You need to be hard. You have to have a hard exterior. That's what allows you to get from one situation to the next. But with that being said, it also becomes your automatic response now to every situation that comes your way, because it becomes your dormant state. So when you're constantly operating out of survival mode, what's happening is you're going to miss things coming your way, okay? Because survival mode, it doesn't allow you that full state of clarity. It doesn't allow you to see the bigger picture, because you're constantly thinking and expecting for something to go wrong when you go into these new experiences. Even when you notice, when you have the moments where, there is a glimmer of hope, you have a moment of happiness, you have a moment of calm, a moment of stillness. What happens is either you feel like you don't deserve that joy, that happiness that you are experiencing, or either the calmness, you resting, makes you feel inadequate. It makes you feel like you're not enough. And so there you go, jumping back into that constant hustle and bustle of things, okay? Overexerting yourself, overwhelming yourself, overworking yourself. And well, again, that is a normal part of being in survival mode, okay? There was a time when being guarded was necessary, when staying ready was smart, when softness wasn't safe. But what happens is when you keep using survival tools in seasons that no longer, but what happens is when you keep using the survival mode, you're taking them into seasons that don't require you to operate out of that heart space, out of that mind space, or out of that soul space. Okay? Another thing I want you to understand here is when you're constantly operating out of that mode, again, you're only seeing on one perspective, right? On one level of consciousness here. And so you're not allowing yourself to experience new relationships, new experiences, new mindsets, new heart space, new soul space, okay? This is you. It's also a form of you hindering yourself, a form of you blocking yourself from moving forward. So I want you to understand that just because something happened to you back then, just because the experiences that you've had in your past does not define your future, does not define who you are at your core. Okay? This is a part of the return. Okay? This is why you want to go back. So you can see, not only see, but access these beautiful things that are lying in you right now. Okay? Now, how to know you are still in survival mode. I'm going to give you a few things here that will let you know that you are still in survival mode. One that really sticks out to me is like when you feel uneasy in the calm, you feel uneasy in the quiet, you feel uneasy in the stillness. You've actually become conditioned to the chaos, to that constant fight, to that bracing, to that expecting something to go wrong. And so when you find yourself in these moments of calm and stillness, I mean, it's almost like you're panicking here. You're a nervous wreck. Instead of it feeling good to you, it feels opposite. It feels like something is wrong. When you find yourself in these moments of calmness and these still moments, I want you to begin to lean into them. Okay, there's clarity in the calmness. Okay, this is where you're going to receive a lot of your guidance and direction is going to be in this calm, in this stillness. Okay, remember, you have to start cultivating that relationship with you and your higher self. You have to build up that rapport. You have to nourish this integration, right? So you want to make sure that when you find yourself in these moments, this is also a time for you to lean into your higher self and allow her or him to guide you, okay? Another one is going to be you feel safer doing rather than being. I have spoken to you about this many of times, that human and that being, the doing and the being. And when it comes to this journey of returning to self, you have to get comfortable in that being. And when you're being, you don't have to, when you're being, it doesn't require much. You're not thinking, you're not stressing. You are present in that present moment. You're not concerned about yesterday. You're not thinking about tomorrow. In the being is you being in that present moment, okay? You have to get comfortable in this space. And the being is where you grow, is where you expand. And the doing, we understand that it's outside. And the doing, you're mostly working in the external. And well, when it comes to returning, it's going to require moments of intimate time with self. And that is going to require you to step away from the doing. Remember, just because you're doing something, just because you're moving, just because you're busy, doesn't necessarily mean you are accomplishing something. Okay? I also am aware that a lot of people are uncomfortable in that being space, because in that being is spending time with self, right? And well, there's things that are going on within yourself that you do not want to sit with, you don't want to hear, you don't want to feel. And so that also makes you avoid this being. In order for your transition to take place, you're going to have to, I'm trying to figure out how to say this to you here. You got to start facing these hard things, right? These hard truths. That's a part of your shadows. That's a part of what's already keeping you from moving forward now. So don't overwhelm yourself in this space, right? And the being, sometimes it gets loud. I know it. So when these things start to come to the surface, take them one by one. Okay? Do one thing at a time. Handle one situation at a time. One experience, one emotion, one revelation, whatever it is at a time. So you're not overwhelmed, okay? You being overwhelmed is going to revert you back to your old self, okay? So take your time in this space. And another one is you over-explain, over-protect, over-give. That constant yes, yes, yes. That constant doing for others continuously and not pouring into self. Okay? A lot of times you feel guilty. You feel like something is owed. There's an underlying emotion there that keeps you tied to this over giving and over explaining, this overdoing. So you want to identify what that is and deal with it. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Not only is no a complete sentence, if you're not taking care of you, love, you can't take care of anybody else. You have to make sure that your vessel is running smoothly and accordingly before you can properly go out and function, and not only be functioning but be successful at the things that you're doing. You want to start seeing progress, right? We don't want to keep regressing. We want to move forward, and you have to set yourself up for success. Now, that doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. All this means is that survival worked. Okay? And now it's time to do something else. It's a different seasons. Seasons change. Life is expected to change. You have to be able to change with it. Releasing survival doesn't mean you're forgetting who you were. It means you're honoring her and allowing her to rest. She has done her job. She got you through, and now a new version of you gets to lead. Her time is up. And I want you to get comfortable thanking her, okay? When you are going into your new self, when this integration is taking place, when your new self begins to step forward and begins to lead, remember again, that old self, she's going to fight. She's going to resist. And you don't want her to fight, okay? Fighting creates resistance. So what I would advise you to do is, when that old version of yourself begins to come up, and don't be upset, don't judge her. Like I said, don't fight. Embrace her with love. Understand that again, that is a part of you, and that's all you've ever known thus far. Okay? Love on her. Embrace her. That is going to make the integration smooth. As long as you're fighting and you're judging and you're being so hard on yourself, that's going to create that fight. That is what is going to create that resistance, and it's going to make your transition more difficult than it has to be. Trust me, take this from someone who knows, who's done it. Okay? You talk about World War III, honey. I went through it. The battle for myself, against myself. That is a real thing. You are absolutely going to have to fight your old self in order for your new self to rise. So you want to do it in the best way possible, okay? So don't be indifferent, you know. Another thing is you got to start choosing presence, choosing to be here now. Stop preparing for things. Every time you prepare for something, especially operating out of this mind space here, this heart space, and this soul space, you're not doing anything but bracing. That you preparing is giving you time to brace, to expect something again, what wrong coming your way, something, another storm, another trial. When you're giving off a certain energy, you can only receive that certain energy back in return. Okay? So be mindful of that. Attention goes where attention flows. The easiest way for you to begin to eliminate a lot of these emotions and things hindering you from moving forward is going to be you have to cut your attention off to them. As long as you give attention to these thoughts, whatever it is fueling you, you keep them alive. Okay, so this is where you got to start gravitating over to that new mindset, the new heart space, and that new soul space that you are now creating. Okay, is it comfortable at first? No, but we know to be comfortable, as long as you're comfortable, you're not growing. Okay, part of growth is to be uncomfortable. That's how you know you're growing. Pay attention to your body, okay? Remember, your nervous system is going to be up and running. Your nervous system is going to be informing you of things before you have knowledge of. This is why your body responds to things before you have knowledge of it. Okay, that's what these other senses are for. Remember, we're stepping away from the five senses and we're tapping into all the other things. Okay, I'm gonna say it like that. So pay attention to your body. Pay attention to those nudges, to that voice, to the goosebumps, right? This is your higher self guiding you, not only guiding you, but communicating with you. This is also why, again, I recommend you keep a journal so you can write these things down, right? Also, writing is a way of confirming, okay? This is your journey, okay? There's no set amount of time. There's no specific outline or outlook as to how it's supposed to go, how it's supposed to feel, how long it's going to take. You are going to be doing this the rest of your life. The whole point of you returning to you is so now your lower vibration can integrate with the higher vibration of you, and you become one. You become whole. You become complete. You become healed. You become transformed. Okay? If any part of you feels tired of bracing, if any part of you is ready to soften without fear, this is your reminder, okay? You are allowed to evolve. Returning to her is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to who you are at your core. I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. But what do I want you to absolutely make sure that you do for the rest of your day? Bye bye.